Hi, this is Jeff Nagel, agronomist with Keystone Cooperative with this week's crops consideration. Well, I'm in a soybean field here that's pretty typical of a good portion of Indiana that's approaching the R3 growth stage where we think about plant health applications. And that window we usually think about is R2 to R4. R2 is full flower, R4 is a 3/4 inch pod at one of the top 4 uppermost nodes. And why do we do that? We want to set the plant up to the most critical periods of time in the soybean plant, and that's the R4 to R6 growth stage. And if you look at one particular most sensitive time period, it's R5, which is beginning seed stage. And so that's what we're trying to do with plant health applications. And that's a combination of protecting the plant against foliar diseases and also that plant physiology response of keeping that plant at a healthy stage to increase sugar flow into the seeds. And so here's a case in point. This is a plant that I basically took away the top leaves here, and looking at the bottom of this, and these leaves here, the trifoliate at each node is the primary trifoliate that's responsible for sugar production to fill the pods and seeds in this particular node. So that's what we're trying to do, is to keep that healthy. So that means when you're making an application, your spray volume needs to be right, your spray tips need to be right, your adjuvants need to be right to optimize that. And so we typically run a fungicide, insecticide, because we may not have a threshold of any particular insect. For example, here we've got defoliation from Japanese beetle that wouldn't reach a threshold, but is doing some damage. We would have some bean leaf beetle, some stink bug. And so the insecticide, we've seen some positive responses, even though an individual insect hasn't reached a threshold, and allows you to put a nutritional in where needed. If that's the case in time, we need to do that. So again, we're trying to keep that plant healthy to do that during that grain fill time period. So we get a lot of questions on how do I growth stage soybeans, a lot of confusion around that. And what you do is you want to look at the top 4 nodes on that soybean plant and find one that's got an open trifoliate. So here's one that's about half expanded. That would be the trifoliate I would look for. And that's at this node right here. That's my node number 1. I'm going to count down number 2. I'm going to count to 3, and I'm going to count to 4. And this is the place I'm looking at to growth stage it. And if I've got a 3/16 inch pod on one of these top 4 nodes, I'm at R3. If I've got a 3/4 inch pod, I'm at R4. And if I have an 1/8 inch seed in one of these here, I'm at R5. Okay, so that's how you growth stage soybeans. And it's R3 to R4 is about a 10-day window on average. R4 to R5 is about another 10-day. And that's going to change a little bit depending on temperatures, but that's kind of generally how we do that. So the forecast coming up is for 6 to 10 day, 8 to 14 day is a trend towards above normal precipitation. I'm in this field here that's got a lot of dew this morning, and so that's the pattern we're in. We got some wetter soils, so we need to be thinking about those plant health applications as we move forward. So visit with your local retail locations and learn more about plant health applications and how to optimize those.